Hello. Today I'll be reading Christmas Trolls by Jan Brett. I'm Trevor, and the day my brother and Sammy and I went out to our neighbor's farm to pick out a Christmas tree was the beginning of the most unforgettable Christmas I ever had. As we went home through the forest with a perfect tree packed on the sleigh, Tuffy started sniffing and barking. I couldn't see anything, but I felt sure someone was watching us. When we arrived home, we forgot all about the forest. Mom and Dad had brought out our boxes of ornaments to decorate the tree, and Sammy and I put evergreen wreaths, mistletoe, and holly all around the house. We had already wrapped our presents and hidden them away for Christmas morning. So here's Sammy and her brother getting ready for Christmas Day. Then some of our Christmas decorations started to disappear. I didn't notice anything until Dad asked if I had moved the trinket box he had hidden for Mom. I shivered because Mom had just asked me the same thing about the mittens she knitted for Dad. And here's the illustration to the side. Sammy and I looked in all the usual hiding places, but we couldn't find them. Tuffy was acting strange too. He sniffed and barked and ran all around in circles as if he were looking for something. So here they are, looking for their items that they can't find because someone's taking them. Then a few days before Christmas, the treetop angel was gone. What would be next? I started carrying my favorite red horse everywhere. So now they have the Christmas tree up, the decorations, but they can't find their items that they're missing. And now the angel is gone from the tree. I wonder who's taking them. Early the next morning, when I went to feed Arnie, I saw something fly across the snow. It was our Christmas pudding. Someone took the Christmas pudding. So she's feeding Arnie, and then now she sees some pudding fly across the air into the snow. I harnessed Arnie, bells and all, and raced after it into the forest. As I got closer, I could see that our pudding was being carried along, cushioned to the top of the hedgehog. I didn't know what to do, so I yelled, "Stop! Come back!" But it didn't stop until it reached the bottom of four fit trees. The hedgehog put the pudding down and scampered off. Just then, the trees started rocking back and forth. So you have the hedgehog taking the pudding, and now they have the trees rocking back and forth. I wonder who is taking all of their items. Suddenly, a funny-looking ladder dropped down from above, and two trolls scurried down, pouncing on the pudding before I could even move. They pulled it back and forth as they went up the ladder, squabbling all the way to the top. climbed right up after them and looked inside. There on the floor of their troll house were all of our Christmas things in a heap. The trolls were grabbing at them, each of them wanting what the other one had. So here she is, climbed up the tree, and the trolls just squabbling over the items that they took. Hey, trolls, I call. Those are our Christmas things. The trolls dove onto the pile, clutching our gifts. Mine, they clamored. Mine, mine. I looked at them and had to smile. Their tails were hanging out. Their pants were torn and patched. Their cheeks were bright red, and their hair was standing straight up from all of the pulling and tugging at each other. Christmas, they wailed. We want Christmas. And there's the little trolls, and at the bottom we see a little hedgehog. So they're just taking the things because they just want to experience Christmas. You want Christmas? I asked, puzzled. Yes, they shouted. Give us Christmas. Wait, well, you just can't take Christmas, I said. The trolls looked surprised. They squeaked, they gulped, they shuffled their feet. Want Christmas, they said, sounding miserable. Okay, you can have your Christmas, but first, what are your names? Mig, said one. Tig, said the other. I looked around their messy hut. Mig, Tig, let's begin getting your house ready for Christmas. I started to straighten up and put things away. They began to help. Nice, I said when we had finished. Now, let's make your house look like Christmas. And there she is, helping them get their house ready for Christmas. We went outside and gathered evergreens, berries, pine cones. Now, we need a Christmas tree, I told them. That's easy. You live in the trees, so you can have 4 trees instead of just one if you want to. Christmas trees, they shouted, jumping up and down. And we decorated each of the trees that held up the troll's house. And here they are, decorating their trees with all the berries, the pine cones. Tig and Mig had a small setback on the way back to the hut. I knew I had some more explaining to do. When I first got here, you were snatching things for yourselves and acting really grumpy. Try playing together and having some fun. So now she's teaching them to get along with each other. She's decorating their house and they're helping too. And down here we see the little hedgehog. I wonder what he's up to. Fun? They asked. I showed them how to jump rope. I told them how much I liked their tail knots and earrings. They smiled softly and started tucking into their tails. Nice hair, pretty belt, they said, grinning at me. And they taught me a little troll dance. They were catching on. So now she's teaching them to be nice. They're giving her a compliment because they gave them a compliment as well. I think they're so pretty. Now, if you really want Christmas, you must be generous with each other. If you do that, you have Christmas right here in your troll house. The trolls cocked their heads and squinted. They were trying hard to understand how. They pleaded. I felt my red horse in my pocket. I knew I had to show them. So I took it out and I gave it to them. That is for you. Oh. So the little horse that she had for Christmas and was saving it, she decided to give it to the trolls to show them the true meaning behind Christmas. And she looks so happy. The trolls squealed and jumped up and down with glee. They took turns passing my horse back and forth, happily playing with it together. It was time for me to go home. I slipped out quietly and climbed down to Arnie. To my surprise, their hedgehog had packed all of our presents on the sleigh for me to take home while we were having Christmas in the troll's house. So that's what the hedgehog's been up to. So the hedgehog's basically been taking the toys back from them, and now she have it back on the sleigh to take home. On Christmas morning, Sammy and I ran downstairs to find our tree all lit with candles and our stockings filled. We opened our presents in front of the fire. But this Christmas was full of surprises. I heard a bumping and scratching noise. Tuffy barked. I listened and followed the sounds outside the doorstep with a Christmas present. What could that be? And there's their little dog, scratching, barking at the door. What could that be at the doorstep? I unwrapped it and I found a wild and wonderful troll horse. Tig and Meg, I explained. When I held it, I knew for sure that the trolls understood Christmas. And I knew that this was the best Christmas ever. And that is the end. Thank you for reading with me.